Let's rub it through our fingers and around our hands. And also do not forget the social distance on the sides and to the front as well. Now, today's lesson is health education, sexuality, and sexual health. Please turn to page 23. Health education, sexuality, and sexual health. Now let's quickly look at our competencies. Identify from diagrams the different stages of sexual development from infancy to old age. Investigate and report on different sources of information and support about sexual health and sexuality. Explain what constitutes sexual health, be it physical or emotional. Explain why sexual health is important. Now the vocabulary. Sexuality. Sexuality is the physical and emotional readiness for sexual intercourse. Sexual health. Being physically, mentally, socially healthy in relation to sexuality. Let's turn to page 24, where we have different diagrams or pictures on the stages of the human development. Now, on the chalkboard, we have different stages of sexual development. The first stage is a baby or infant, and then we have the childhood. The next stage is the adolescent, and the next stage will be the adulthood, as you can see, and the last stage is the old age. Now, let's move on to the sources of information and support about sexual health and sexuality. You know, as young children, as adolescents, you need to have information on sexual health and your sexuality. But your friends are not really that well equipped with information. So you need to visit different places that can offer you with good quality information. These places, we call them the sources of information on sexuality and sexual health. Now, these places are the clinics and hospitals, the Lifeline and Childline, the Women and Child Protection Unit. Now we are moving on to what constitutes sexual health, be it physical or emotional. What constitutes sexual health, you shouldn't only be physically healthy, be it you preventing yourself from getting STDs or sexually transmitted diseases. You should also have a positive and a respectful approach to sexuality and sexual relationships. That's basically what constitutes sexual health. Now, why is it important for you to be healthy sexually? So that you can live a happy life, to avoid getting infections, and to avoid unwanted pregnancies. Let's turn to page 25. On page 25, you can find your activity. This is activity 1. Number 1, identify the stages of sexual development from the diagrams below. You should just fill in the spaces provided. Number 2, explain why sexual health is important. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. And please remember to sanitize your hands and always put on your mask. So goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye.
Catch Namibia's rising talents displaying the best goals, breathtaking saves, Khafar like a 1-2 combination on the pitch, as well as the biggest misses. It's the MTC Hop Soul Youth League Soccer Show, showcasing Africa's next soccer superstars. Only on One Africa Television, every Wednesdays at 18:30. Aye, is Super Disc on another level.
Hello, welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Linda Shipanga, and I'm not alone. I'm with Pomwene. Welcome, Pomwene. And let's always remember to put on our masks. And we should always sanitize our hands in between the fingers as well. And do not forget the social distance. So today's lesson will be, it's Science Grade 7, Health Education, Sexuality, and Sexual Health. All right, let's turn to page 23, where we'll be looking at our basic competencies. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. And you should be able to identify risky sexual practices. And you should also be able to describe the impact of risky sexual practices on the individual, family, community, and society. Now, the vocabulary, these are the words that you have to, the new words that you have to learn. Risky, the word risky means involving the possibility of something bad happening. Impact, the influence that one thing has on something else. To maintain means to keep something. Now let's look at the methods of maintaining sexual health. As you can see on the chalkboard, we have different there are pictures on different methods of maintaining sexual health. The first one is abstinence. To abstain basically meaning to say no to sex. To all the sexual activities, you should totally abstain, you should totally say no. And then we move to the next one, is faithfulness. You must be faithful to one trustable partner. In this method of maintaining sexual health, if one or both of the partners are not faithful to each other, and then they have sexual intercourse with somebody else, which is, for example, unprotected sex, then they can contract an STD or STI, which is sexually transmitted infections, and then they can pass it on to their partner. So this faithfulness is mostly suitable for married couples. And then we move to condom use. So we have different types of condoms. You can find the condoms at the clinics or hospitals. And then we have two types of condoms for male condoms, and the female condoms, which are called the femidoms. So you can still make use of the condoms. The condoms act as a barrier between the two partners. Just the same way as the doctors are putting on gloves to protect themselves and their patients from getting germs, it works the same way. So the condoms traps sperms so that they do not go to the next person. The sperms do not enter the woman, so she will not be able to contract any infections, and then she will not be able to fall pregnant. Among these three methods of maintaining sexual health, abstinence is the best and the most effective method. And you should actually abstain. All right? Now, let's quickly turn to page 24. Whereby we'll be looking at the risky sexual practices. What are risky sexual practices? These are actions that put you in danger and that have a negative impact on your sexual health. What are these risky sexual practices? Sex without a condom, multiple sexual partners, when you have more than one sexual partner. For a boy, maybe you have three girlfriends, or for a girl, you have maybe 2 boyfriends, for instance, and you are having sexual intercourse with all of them. Those are multiple sexual partners. Sugar daddies and sugar mommies. Let's look at the sugar daddies. What are sugar daddies? Sugar daddies are older men, much older men, that usually engage into sexual relationships with much younger girls. They give them money and they give them gifts, and they have sexual intercourse with them. Sugar mummies are older, much older ladies that have sexual intercourse or sexual relationship with much younger boys. And they give them gifts, they give them money and all sorts kind of things. Sometimes they even give them a lift to school in their cars. And then we look at the sex workers. Sex workers, these are people that sell sex for money. They go at the lights, for example, the robots there, and then they find men, they get into their cars according to what they have agreed on, and then they get into men's cars, and then when they go to their place, have sexual intercourse with them, and then they get paid for having sexual intercourse with different kind of men. And those activities are very risky because now you are having sex with this person, having sex with another person. Imagine you having sexual intercourse with 5 different kind of people. It will be so difficult to tell each one to put on a condom. Okay, you come to this one, put on a condom, at the end of the day, you are like, I'm getting used to this one now, and then it's not always easy to convince now each and every person to use a condom. At the end of the day, you might just end up having unprotected sexual intercourse, and then that's really, really risky. Let's move on to the impacts. These are physical and emotional impacts of risky sexual practices on the individual, on the family, community, and society. When you engage in these risky sexual practices, it doesn't only affect you, it affects your family, it affects the community, and just the society at large. Your neighbors. What are the physical impacts? Death. You can die. When you contract diseases like HIV, you might die. And then it also leads to spreading of diseases. You pass the disease to this person and then to the next person, just like that. It also leads to unwanted pregnancies. And the other impact as well are looking after a baby of a sick person. Now, you are sick, your parents or your neighbors or just your family members have to look after that baby because you are sick. Or when you have died, now people have to look after your children or your baby when you have died. It can be the community, yes, or your family members. Now, what are the emotional impacts? This is the hurt of feelings. When you are, for example, when you are sick, it affects people. People are hurt. Everybody's thinking about it, and it affects them really badly. Okay? So now that's our lesson on different kinds of methods of maintaining sexual health, risky sexual practices, and the physical and emotional impacts. Okay? So you should be able to do this activity on page 25. Quickly go to page 25 so that we can look at this activity. A, discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. Discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. Those are 3 methods that I want you to answer there. And B, identify risky sexual practices. C, describe the impact, be it physical and emotional altogether. These are the impact of risky sexual practices on the individual, on the family, community, and society. Okay, let's quickly recap on our lesson for today, which is sexual health. And then we looked at the methods of maintaining sexual health, which is abstinence, faithfulness, and condom use. And the risky sexual practices are sex without a condom, multiple sexual partners, sugar daddies and sugar mummies, sex workers. The impacts, or be it physical or emotional, of the risky sexual practices on the family, individual, community, and society. It can lead to death, spreading of diseases, unwanted pregnancies, and looking after a baby of a sick person or a dead person. And this can also lead to hurt of feelings of family members and just the community at large. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. So let's not forget to always wear our masks, sanitize, and then do not remember the social distance. As from me and Pomwene, it's goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And Simon says don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean. Bye!
Black sunrise, always gonna be a surprise, 'cause we don't know the way it's going to go. 'Cause we can see the way it's going to be. 'Cause we can see
Ay, ay, ay.
We're talking about COVID. Baba G, tell us about the day you found out you had COVID.
The day I found out I have COVID, it was a difficult day. I didn't understand how I got COVID because I was always covered, I was always with my hand sanitizer. It came with my wife. And that whole day, I was thinking, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna survive. My kids, I was losing my tasting, smelling. There were some days I will test my taste buds and put like 4 or 5 chilies in my coffee. No ways. I didn't taste it.
So did you also lose your appetite in the process?
It was very funny. In the first week, no, I was chowing. Like I will wake up like midnight and make for me something. But after the first week, then the appetite was gone. When you go to bed, your body is also automatically switching off. And that's a dangerous time for COVID. It's like glass pinching you, cutting you inside your lungs. Then the heart was pumping like a rabbit pumps. You are losing a lot of fluids at night.
Is that through fever or what?
Yeah, it's through fever.
So have you experienced any side effects from having contracted COVID-19?
No, not yet. Maybe still coming, but not yet.
And your wife?
She was complaining about light head. It's an annoying headache. It's light, but it's annoying.
So basically you didn't take any prescribed medicine from the doctor to recover from COVID?
No, I didn't. The only thing I was using is desperate for my blood not to clot. Because for some people, when your lungs are really, really infected, your blood will start to clot from the lungs, close all the airways. That's where we are passing. I'm smoking cigarette, and when you were a smoker and COVID in your lungs now.
So then after you found out, you both found out you had COVID, what did you guys do to protect the kids?
The kids move out from the house. The booties will come, then we'll collect everything for them and just put for them outside. When they came, just grab the food and go.
So what was the biggest battle for you? Was it mental or physical?
Mentally. Mentally was the biggest battle. I'm actually an international movie maker, and my career was cut off. I couldn't put bread on the table. There were some days have one meal for the day and went to bed. And that was hitting me in my mind. What if Blessing get corona now? Where am I gonna go? Who's gonna help? There were also some people depend on us in the rural areas. We couldn't help them. My future was black, dark, dark, dark. I couldn't even see that small light at the end of the tunnel. One day, my daughter decided, now, I want to see my father today. And I just told her, yeah, she can come. The first words was, Daddy, I was praying for you yesterday night. Don't worry, Corona will go back soon. And I was asking, from where? From Namibia? I said, no, not from Namibia, from you. And you are not looking good. And she was actually heartbroken. Until today, she hates Corona. From there, then I was like, oh, okay. If the smallest one is saying this, why am not picking me up self and do the right thing and get rid of this thing? That's where I started to run, to practice, coming to my quiet place. And actually, the main thing that broke my heart during that time was there was no one. The time of COVID, there was no one.
So can you tell us where we are right now?
We are at my silent place. I call this place my silent place. I will come here when the COVID is hitting me like 120%. Looking at the ocean, then you will hear voices like, no, you don't belong here. Today you don't belong here. Get up and go home. Some days they will nurse you like, no, you will survive. Your future is a bright future. You must not give up now. Think about your kids. Think about the people around you. Even the wind will do that. Actually, you must meditate. The thing of COVID is, looks like COVID is afraid of the warmness and is friends with the coldness. So the whole time you are baking in the sun, it helps a lot.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I will do that twice a day. This was supposed to be a golden year for me, a very, very good golden year for me, but then COVID decided, no, this is not going to be your golden year. Everything was cancelled. We, the filmmakers, this year, from the international shoots, lost lot of money.
You've lost 3 family members? Is it all due to COVID?
No, not all due to COVID. First one, my sister, she was very close to me. She contracted COVID April, and she was in ICU for 3 months. The COVID damaged her lungs, and at that stage her lungs collapsed and she couldn't breathe without the machines. Her kidneys failed, her liver has failed. COVID is real. First of all, COVID is real. It's not a joke. Most of the people, they fall away from COVID regulations. Still early to fall away from COVID regulations. We must still go in line with those COVID regulations.
And how long did you say it took you to recover?
3 weeks, 21 days.
What must somebody do to change your mind from that negative perspective to that positive?
Possible. COVID, no job. It's very dangerous. There was one day I just decided I'm gonna take a rope, go to the jetty, sit around there, and after all I will hang there by the jetty. The time I arrived here there was no wind, out of nowhere. The ocean was like angry, and it started to get cold, and I was like, but it was just nice weather. Then I sat down. Then the universe will talk with you, the wind, the sun, the ocean. That's the main thing of COVID. If you don't save yourself, no one will save you. And we must always appreciate what we have around us. That's the main thing in COVID. If you don't appreciate what you have around you, no, you will lose your head.
Smile, smile, smile. When you walk with me, I just want you to smile, smile.
My industry and what I've done with my hands in Namibia, it's going all over the world, and here you are, Papa G, you want to quit now. I'm excited for 2021. It's not gonna be the same like 2020 now. I'm making back in the groove.
Give me food, clothes, water, and shelter. Nothing else, no matter. You're my moonlight in my heaven. Let all my sins be forgiven. Happiness rain on me. Never let the children cry.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up. Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it, and then make it better.
Hello world, it's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try.
Make mistakes.
Ask.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
There's no easy money. There's no easy job. There's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.